in government and in politics, it's quite hard to fail. It's actually quite a hard thing to do, to stand up and say, you know what, this thing just doesn't work, actually. It sounds great and doesn't really drive the change that we think, given how much money we're spending on it, and we should just stop doing it. So government
Yes.
does a very bad job of evaluating what's working and what's not, right?
Yeah.
Because when you do, it's all over the newspapers, or there's this committee and everyone's having a go at you for failing. There was a crisis. That gives you a little bit more latitude to move fast because you have to try different
Yeah.
things. If you never fail, then you're probably not taking enough risk.
If Rishi Sunak was 22 in 2022, where do you think he would be looking to start his career?
Gosh, why? I mean, I would probably, probably for me, creative industries. Right.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, I think the industry is fantastic. Something we're good at. I think it'd be a very enjoyable thing to do. So I'd be excited about that. I'd also probably be excited about anything in the digital space,
Yeah.
right? And I think in particular, if you look at what are the areas that are going to be transformational for us going forward, you mentioned a couple of them, right? So it's going to be AI,
Hmm.
it's going to be figuring out crypto and distributed ledger technology and blockchain and how that has the potential to change lots of other things we do.
Yes.
And certainly if you talk to people in Silicon Valley, and right, they're raising dedicated funds just to invest in that space because they believe in the transformational power of it. Like those are probably some of the sub industries where actually, whether it's Web3 and other things, there's just
Yeah.
lots of exciting stuff going on.
Mental health, like you've done some very intense jobs at
Yeah.
points and so on, and it must be enormously demanding. How do you just keep that kind of in check?
It has been tough. It's one of my resolutions is try and sleep more. That would be good, and see my kids more because they are probably together with my wife. Right, that is the best way to kind of keep oneself sane is spending time with family. I find, and now we have this new puppy Nova, who's 6 months old, who is also I found a wonderful distraction because she obviously doesn't care about my day when I come home, and is largely just there, happy to be played with and very affectionate, and that has actually been really good. And I was very against having a dog actually, so I was very resistant. But I must say that it has probably been positive for my mental health, if not my sleep and everything
Yeah.
else.
This week we found out that we're going to be having our second daughter. And so therefore, as the father of two daughters, I wondered whether you'd got any advice on that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yours are quite close together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have two. Well, so the first
Two
thing.
under two under three.
Oh my gosh. Right. So the first thing is be really nice to your parents because you're gonna need their help, both of you. That's what I'd say. I think it's totally magical having these two girls. I was rooting for a second girl after we had our first, and having two sisters in the house is really special. The one thing we try and do is just do a lot of strong role models for them, right?
Yeah.
As girls, and there's this great book that we read to them incessantly called "Good Night Stories for Rebel Girls," and they love it. And it's just got lots of kick-ass women in it, and all these stories about them, and they really love that. And we also try and do lots of STEM stuff with them.
Yes. You talked about the entrepreneurial culture and the culture of failure as well that's encouraged at Stanford. How do you encourage that in the Treasury?
People accept that failure is a part of that journey. That's another ingredient of it. And the other thing is that they want to move fast, right? And they want to move fast and they want to try new things.
Yeah, it's kind of, if you're going to take a swing, take a really big
Take a big
swing.
swing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talk about saying I want to have startup treasury mindset. And what does that mean? It means moving probably faster than people are used to moving at in government, and it means a willingness to iterate. And as you
Mm,
say, that's where failure comes. That's tough in politics, right? Because if you never fail, then you're probably not taking enough risk, right? And that's just a simple, kind of simple fact, I think, right? And actually, you learn by failing, and that's how you push the boundaries and expand your horizon and do interesting different things. Um, in government and in politics, it's quite hard to fail, right?
yeah.
Because when you do, it's all over the newspapers, or there's this committee, and everyone's having a go at you for failing, right? And it actually is it's politically damaging. It's so government
Yes.
does a very bad job of evaluating what's working and what's not, and then being willing to stop things that are not working. That's also quite hard. We talked
Yes.
about failure. That's actually quite a hard thing to do, to stand up and say, you know what, this thing just doesn't work. Actually, it sounds great and everyone seems to like it, but like, you know what, we've been looking at it and it doesn't really drive the change that we think, given how much money we're spending on it, and we should just stop doing it.